Lynchburg 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
My wife is going into labor.
It was May of 2016.
Is she having contractions?
No.
A night that holds a very different meaning to everyone involved. The dispatcher.
You realize what a big moment this is for the people that you're talking to, and you don't want to mess up, right?
Dad.
I mean, it's the scariest moment of my life.
Mom.
Just joy, complete joy. And what a story.
And Violet, whose life was really just beginning about 2 weeks early in the middle of the night.
She is on the floor right now. She's on her hands and knees.
Okay.
And I'm like, babe, we're not going anywhere. It's like it's gonna be a home birth.
The living room floor was now their delivery room. Instead of a hospital staff, they had Piper Vandeperry.
I want you to get some dry towels and a blanket to wrap the baby in just in case.
Step by step, she talked them through the delivery.
And get a string or a shoelace to tie around the umbilical cord after delivery.
Towels were easy, but where am I going to get like a piece of string? And I finally just gave up on that.
As Violet made her entrance,
Yeah, that's it from the head.
Okay.
That's it from the head.
things got tense.
This timer that's going off, right? Okay, now we need to get her all the way out.
Is the baby crying or breathing?
No.
Sorry, it's like a flashback.
Do you see any obvious problems?
She's purple. Her head's purple.
Amidst panic, Vandeperry kept a steady voice and gave directions.
I'm going to tell you how to give mouth to mouth, okay?
You are their lifeline.
And about a minute later,
What's going on?
There she goes. She just cried.
She just cried. That's great. That's great.
the joy felt in that moment carries through to Violet's very existence.
When she smiles at me, she makes me feel like the most important person in the world.
The experience has not been lost on Vandeperry either. She got to meet the family for the first time. Violet can't even say her name. It's now a story they all tell. Mom more so than Dad.
I'm curious to see when she's old enough, what she's going to think. Oh, that story again, come on.
Until then, Violet will remain blissfully unaware of how she came into this world. And how much better a place it is because she did. In Lynchburg, Siobhan McGurl, WDBJ7.
Stayed in a hotel, you can probably relate to that feeling of getting home and realizing you left something behind.
A couple staying at the Lynchburg Comfort Inn lost a wedding ring after a weekend away, but they learned sometimes it's not about where you lost something, but whose hands it ends up in. WDBJ7 Siobhan McGurl has tonight's good news here at home.
For France Hubbard, laundry
We getting air out and we is dancing.
is no chore. She has it down to a science. The technique,
I gotta use my chin.
the elbow grease, the folds.
I get the air out of it.
Over 200 pieces of linen come down the chute each day.
They coming.
2 months ago, something extra was hiding in the sheets.
When I looked and there's all these diamonds.
A 10-carat diamond ring. Hubbard hoped someone would claim it. 30 days passed, no one came, and as per policy, Hubbard got to keep the ring.
I am officially married to Comfort Inn and Suite.
Days later, the Garretts approached the front desk.
Is there any chance that there might be a ring on your list? Because I lost one.
The ring belonged to Steve Garrett's mom, passed on to his wife.
Eventually, she won't be around anymore, and it'll be a memory of her.
While Hubbard was technically now owner of the ring, she didn't hesitate to hand it over.
Knowing that this ring is going back to where it came from. I was happy then.
The Garretts were happy too. So happy that they got Hubbard a diamond ring of her own.
You didn't have to do that. I'm not used to these kind of things.
Hubbard is used to giving. Every morning, she gives all of the staff a big wave, smile, and hello.
Good morning.
She then stays in the laundry room and gets to work. Hubbard doesn't get to interact with guests much, but when she does, it lasts.
It gives me hope that there's good people and we'll all be able to work it out.
In Lynchburg,
There's something I will have here
Siobhan McGurl,
the rest of my life.
WDBJ7.
Lynchburg man is asking for your help finding the owner of a Purple Heart. The medal has been sitting in storage for more than 20 years. Tonight, he's on a mission to find the family of the man whose name is engraved on the back. WDBJ7 Siobhan McGurl has more.
John Bryant is a family guy. He spends his days working in his late father's shop.
It's where I go think about my dad and just embrace the stuff that he left me.
Stuff is important to him. So when he found these mysterious war medals on his dad's property, he was on a mission.
I figured somebody would know somebody and it would get gone quick.
They were in an old storage bin that his dad was keeping for a friend of a friend. Time has passed and people have died. Brian didn't know where to start looking, so he turned to Facebook.
218 shares.
And it spread out of Lynchburg, too.
You're like, this guy lives in Ohio.
All looking for the family of William Driscoll, a decorated World War II vet. The medal that caught Brian's eye was the Purple Heart.
To me, it's invaluable, and it belongs with the person that it was given to or somebody directly related to him.
Along with the medals were Driscoll's old driver's license and his military ID. His fingerprints are on the back.
That just does something to me. I don't really... This is why I can't just give it to anybody.
He knows he served sometime in the 1940s and where he used to live. Driscolls have been tagged on Facebook.
Let me check with my mother, who is also a Driscoll.
But so far, not the right Driscoll. The medals were in a glass frame displayed on a board. Someone was very proud of them, and Bryant wants to find whoever that is.
I'm really happy to give it back if I find somebody that cares enough for it.
In Lynchburg, Siobhan McGurl, WDBJ7.
So if you know anything about William Driscoll, you can email us. Our address is news@WDBJ7.com. Brian says he has some good leads right now, but he's yet to find the living family member. We brought you the story of a lost Purple Heart in Lynchburg. A man found it on his dad's old property and made it his mission to get it back to the stranger's family.
After our story aired, we heard from dozens of you, and now the World War II medals are back where they belong. WDBJ7 Siobhan McGurl has the story. That's tonight's good news here at home.
In his dad's old shop, buried in a storage bin, John Bryant found treasure.
To me, it's invaluable.
A Purple Heart and other war medals, along with a driver's license for William T. Driscoll.
I figured somebody would know somebody and it would get gone quick.
After our story about Brian's search aired, we received emails from all over with potential leads in Virginia, Florida, Ohio, and finally, Vermont. An email from Purple Hearts Reunited that brought us right back.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
To Charlottesville.
This means so much.
I'm glad it does. Somebody.
The mysterious Driscoll was Kim Briel's grandfather.
It just brings back a lot of memories, and I just think about my grandfather and how special he was.
She remembers the medals fondly.
He wouldn't talk much about it, but he always had a certain look on his face of pride or strength whenever he mentioned them.
He fought in a defining battle of World War II.
When the Battle of the Bulge started, the men on either side of him both fell, and they were both killed. And he was in that battle, and he said it was day after day of not knowing whether you would live.
He survived that battle, and even today, his memory lives on. Through pictures, like this one of him marching in Lynchburg's Memorial Day Parade, his old uniform that his family kept with care, and now his precious medals that caught the eye of a stranger.
It just makes me love a stranger.
When Brian started out on this mission, the way the medals were arranged struck him, like someone was really proud of them. He would only give the medals to someone who would take care of them.
And we are going to find one of the nicest places in our house, and we'll put them up on our wall.
Brian can now rest assured that his work here is done.
I love you, Granddaddy.
Back in the hands of people who care. In Lynchburg, Siobhan McGurl, WDBJ7.